In this video, we're going to take a look at some of these standout plays from wide receiver Kadarius Toney over the last year or so since he was drafted in the first round by the New York Giants, and look at some of the creative ways they used him and talk about how Coach Reed and company could potentially use him as well, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? All right, we're going to take a look at some of these plays from Kadarius Toney, mainly from 2021. He's basically been injured all of 2022, similar to cornerback Trent McDuffie and his hamstring injury. Kadarius Toney only played in week 1 and week 2 of this year. So we'll take a look at mainly his standout plays from 2021 and then a few plays from 2022 as well. All right, in this first play, you can see Toney up on the top of your screen, cuts in, and he makes a man miss, is able to fight for a few yards. But the main reason I wanted to look at this play is because if he would have been Daniel Jones's first read when he turns in here, he could have had a lot of room to run. But again, he wasn't the first read, but just an example of how he can just make people miss once you put the football in his hands. Here's him on a fake reverse of sorts, and then they actually throw it back to him, and he's able to make basically something out of nothing here. So you can see he makes that first man miss. He's very good at that, and he's so shifty as he just moves up the field. Reminds me a lot of Dante Hall, not to say he is Dante Hall or will be Dante Hall level as far as being able to avoid tackles, but you'll see when we look through these plays what I'm talking about. Here's another one where just a quick pass. This is where he's very dangerous, where he's used a lot. Just a quick pass within 10 yards. And he's able to just real quick turn around, catch that ball. He follows his blockers, but then he just makes magic happen when he's in the open field. This next play is a play action pass. Daniel Jones has time. Toney beats his man across the field, and that's what you love to see. Mahomes is going to love that. You beat your man, you get open, he'll find you. Another play action pass on an RPO quick slant of sorts. I want to show this because the Chiefs do stuff like this a lot. And if you look at the bottom of your screen here, look at Toney, how hard he sells that he's going to the outside here. Yeah, he sold it really well. So great route here. And then he doesn't stop. He keeps going. Whoop, whoop. Makes many people miss, and some say, well, that was D-Rob. Well, this is who D-Rob aspired to be, but never could be. So that's the difference between Toney and D-Rob. On this one, Daniel Jones rolls out, and it's just going to give his man a chance. And oh my gosh, Toney comes down with that ball. He's falling down, gets tripped, comes down with the ball, stays in bounds. That's a catch. That's what you love to see. Again, this is where he's utilized most on this pass here. That was within 10 yards, and he's able to turn upfield and basically make something out of nothing. Just turns to the inside. He has great vision on where to run and take himself to get extra yards, and you gotta love to see that. This next pass, Toney's gonna act like he's going across the field, but nope, cuts back. That's with Diggs in coverage, and he totally fooled Diggs there. Great play, great route. Look at the yard, look at the separation there. That is incredible. All right, this is another play where Daniel Jones just gives Toney a chance, just throws it up, 50-50 ball. Toney leaps up in the air, and he doesn't just wait for it to come to him. He literally snatches it out of the air like a baby. So great play there, both feet in bounds. Let's freaking go. Now this is actually Toney in Wildcat, and he is a former QB, played QB in high school. So they used him in Wildcat and some other stuff like that. And with him being so fast, this is cool. I mean, Mecole Hardman is used similar like this at times. So that's just another way that they could use him. Here's a quick pass. Able to beat Diggs to the outside. Again, he runs a 4.3940, very quick, and is able to beat Diggs to the outside there and get a bunch of extra yards. Here on this play, nothing too special, just kind of turns in, snags that ball, but again, makes that man miss, and he's able to fight his way up the field for several more yards. It's just crazy. Once you get the ball in his hands, I mean, he's dangerous. People don't know where he's going. People don't know what he's going to do. And here's another way he's used here against Tampa. He's in Wildcat, fakes the handoff, steps back, and actually launches a missile that I think would have been caught for a potential touchdown, but the receiver got tripped here. I mean, look at that. That's a dime. I think that would have been caught, if not for a TD, for a deep pass. And here's another play. It's actually against the Chiefs. It's a fake reverse. So it acts like he's going to run a reverse, but actually stops, plants his feet, and throws that ball. It's an accurate pass thrown slightly behind the receiver, but catchable ball. And this is some cool ways, man, that Andy Reid and company could potentially use this man if they trust in his arm like the Giants have. Here on this play, he comes down from the left side and they flick him down. And the only reason why he's able to get some yards here is because Snead falls. But it's just cool. They're using him a lot in the backfield as a distraction, using him in motion. The Chiefs are going to do this with him. They do that a lot with their receivers. And then here on this play, he just runs right behind the O-line, catches this ball, and you would think he was going to be tackled, but nah, he dodges like 4 people and fights for 5 or 6 yards there. It's a very hard fought 5 or 6 yards, but man, this is why this guy reminds me in ways of Tyreek Hill a little bit, Dante Hall, just the ability to kind of maneuver around is pretty unreal. He does it again here, but this is where it gets him in a bit of trouble. I think this is a 3rd down. And instead of him just running right between these 2 guys here after juking the first, for the 1st down, he tries to cut back again. It's kind of like a D-Rob move. So there's going to be growing pains and frustrations with him trying to do a little bit too much. And sometimes you're just going to be like, hey, just go vertical. Just take the yards. So that's a potential weakness that I see there at times. And also, I did see some drops. I don't think drops is a huge problem for him, but there were some passes when I was going through his footage, especially in 2021. He dropped a few passes that should have been catches. He had a drop in the Senior Bowl that should have been a catch, but nobody's perfect. And I didn't include him in here because I'm just looking at his most best standout plays, but I do want to let you know I did see some drops, did see some things that he could get better at and work on, but he was just drafted last year, still has room to grow, get better, and improve. He's only 23 years old. So very young. The reason I included this pass is it's just a hard-fought, caught ball where if he didn't slip there, he could have ran for more yards, but that cornerback was in a great place on that entire route, and Toney was still able to fight for the catch, and just a great play there. This next play, I'm just showing it because Daniel Jones goes into a bit of a scramble drill here, and Toney just does a very good job of being there for his quarterback, and you know Patrick Mahomes and company are going to be utilizing that a lot, so I just love to see that from him. These last 2, this is from 2022. The only couple that I really have, this is him on a reverse, but it's a great freaking reverse. They send him one way. Okay, they check it. They send him back, handing the ball. He beats the edge around the outside and again is able to do his thing. So this is much more recent. This was early in September. And then again, they run him around kind of like Tyreek. They throw it. It's a backwards pass. I think he was actually supposed to throw that ball, but he was facing a lot of pressure and instead ended up running across the field and instead of losing almost 10 yards, was able to gain like 4. So this is a very small sample size from 2022. Yeah, he was supposed to throw that, and I think he could have hit 13 there, but the defenders were bearing down on him quickly, and he was able to turn literally nothing into something there. So these are some of the standout plays, again, mostly from 2021, a couple from 2022. I also want to let you know that he is probably going to be returning punts for the Chiefs, specifically this year. It's going to take a while to get into Andy Reid's playbook and kind of learn the ways of the trade in the Kansas City offense, but he will pretty quickly be able to return punts. So he didn't return a bunch in college. He returned 13 in Florida, averaged 11.3 yards and had a TD. So I think this year they will get him involved in punts and then start slowly working him into the offense. And some people misunderstood in my initial video about Kadarius Toney when I said I think the writing is on the wall, potentially for Mecole. I didn't mean this year. I meant kind of for the future. If Kadarius Toney stays healthy, which is probably the biggest thing about him right now. He had off-season minor knee surgery. He's been out for like 4-ish weeks with a hamstring injury, but missed time last season as well. I think I saw a stat somewhere. He's only played 12 of his 24 games, so 50% of games that he could have played in the NFL so far. And what I meant by that is Mecole is on the last year of his contract where Toney still has a couple years left on his rookie deal, and the Chiefs acquired him for basically $5 million over the next couple of years, much cheaper than you're going to be able to find a lot of other veteran receivers for, and probably cheaper than Mecole Hardman will be. I think another team next season in the offseason is probably going to offer him more money than $2.5 million a year. Maybe the Chiefs try to keep Mecole Hardman, but when I said I think the writing may be on the wall, it's because I think Kadarius Toney can do a lot of what Mecole can do. They're very similar. Kadarius is a little bit bigger, but he can return punts. They can use him in the backfield on jet sweeps. He's very shifty. He's even a QB. Could run wildcat like Mecole Hardman. Can do a lot of things that Mecole did. I'm not saying he'll do everything better than Mecole. Mecole is a great receiver, and I would love it if the Chiefs could, find a way to keep him around. I do like him. I'm just saying, based on his talking about Toney, talent, skill level, what he excels at, and then you look at Mecole Hardman, and they kind of could be used in similar ways, and Mecole Hardman may not see himself here in Kansas City next year because of it, but at the same time, Mecole Hardman might get offered a freaking bag in the offseason by another team. Teams like to overpay receivers. We've been seeing that all offseason. Last year, it was going nuts. Tyreek Hill got a bunch of money, but probably well-deserved for him because he's a generational talent. Anyway, that's why I wanted to clarify what I said about Mecole. I don't think Mecole's going anywhere this year. He's not suddenly going to find himself on the bench. He's not going to get traded, I wouldn't think. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think he's getting traded. He's not going to be on the bench. Mecole's still going to be here and get worked into the offense. He's been clicking. He had 3 touchdowns last week. So I wanted to apologize if I wasn't clear enough. I don't think he's going anywhere this season. It just might be the writing on the wall for him next season. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Let me know your thoughts on some of the standout plays. Are you excited for Toney? Are you excited to see his potential in Andy Reid's offense once he gets fit in, especially during the offseason or maybe later in the season when they start using him jet sweeps? Maybe he's throwing passes, just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And then let me know about this. Are you worried about his injury history? Because I am a little bit. I trust the Chiefs medical staff, but I'm still a little bit worried about his ability to stay healthy, and hopefully his hamstring's doing well. He said he's better and deleted a tweet on Twitter today, but saying that he was healthy and good to go, basically, and was laughing at people for saying he wasn't. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, check out this video here, pew pew, which is a short I made on Kadarius Toney just a bit ago. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. Hit the like and sub. How about those?